Hello and welcome to the Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're reviewing,
Gotham.
episode 3, Men Who Hide Behind Masks, or something like that. Love the intro.
What Ra's al Ghul? Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was great. One.
Where did his clothes go though? Didn't he get dumped into the pit fully clothed and then popped up without them? That was weird.
No, I think he was butt naked.
Okay.
It starts in Arabia, the year 1925. So it's interesting because normally Ra's al Ghul's kind of been portrayed between 300 and 600 years old, but in this incarnation is like about 1,850 odd. I like that. Yeah, so he's kind of found on a battlefield and like by this Chinese guy, Asian guy, pardon me, and is like, he kind of looks upon him in the battlefield killed and he goes, you're the one I've been looking for. So he kind of brings him to the pit and dumps him in it, and then he comes back to life. I like the way he talked. Like Ra's al Ghul talked like the kind of guy who like in the year 125, he was like, "But I was fallen," or something like that. He kind of spoke kind of old time. I don't like it when they put people back to that time and they talk like modern day.
Yeah, the CW show, they're guilty of doing that. The one question I would have is, are we going to get explained why this dude was looking for Ra's al Ghul?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's my question as well. It's like this guy was just, strolling through the battlefield. I mean, what if he was face down? what if he wasn't face up? Or what if he was wearing
What if he didn't have a face? What if he got blown off during the fight? Well, I suppose cut off.
Yeah, so I guess it was kind of lucky. And then he's presented with this dagger and is like, you must find an heir, which has taken him 2,000 years apparently. So yeah, that brings us to the next part. I mean, I'm a little hazy on this episode, but so yeah, Bruce is out doing his Batman stuff, and he kind of stumbles about. It was very Batmanish when he was talking to Alfred. Just the way it is like, Penguin's got a shipment coming in, and it was like very reminiscent of Batman versus Superman when he was having his talk with Alfred. I liked it.
Sure, except he looks like a 15-year-old boy, but aside from that, totally Batman.
Yeah, so he kind of goes down to the docks and then he sees his eyeing up Penguin's shipment, and then he sees like a thief who turns out to be Selina, and she's trying to steal something of the shipment, and then Brucey kind of gets in the way, batters the guards up, and unfortunately Selina couldn't leave with her prize, so to speak, and then I guess Bruce catches a hot lick because his hand's cut open. I did like the effects on his hand when Alfred was sewing it. It looked quite real to me. I was fooled. Can you say the same?
No.
Oh, okay. So basically, the pretense for this episode is, I mean, obviously, it's brought to Penguin's attention, so he goes to check on it by himself. But it turns out this dagger that Ra's al Ghul had back in the day has somehow fell out of his hands, and now Penguin somehow got hold of it and is auctioning stuff off. So he's trying to get his hands on it. Bruce obviously learns of this because he sneaks back onto the ship and then looks up a manifest and stumbles across the dagger, and he reads into it more and finds a book and is reading through the book, and then there's a picture of someone who looks like Ra's al Ghul. So like, we have to have it.
Yeah, that was a little bit convenient, but as long as it moves it along, whatever, find his picture in a book. Yeah. Sure.
I'm kind of surprised that I didn't kind of expect the whole Riddler stuff. That like some girl, I thought it was Ivy at first. I was convinced it was Ivy, but it turned out to be some random chick.
I'm surprised with where it went. I thought it was going to be like Misery, Like, you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Kathy Bates and whatnot.
Dirty
I thought it was
Birdie.
going to go like, I thought it was going to go like that, and it didn't. I don't really get it, to be honest.
One thing so basically some woman gets him out, and then is kind of having problems solving riddles, is kind of, I don't know, been affected by the whole experience of being on ice, and like eventually like he ends up whacking around the head with a book and escaping, then Penguin comes knocking. One thing I did like with Zaz is that he's goofy and doing his humour thing, but like he just went in there and popped her straight away. Mm-hmm. I like that. I didn't want them to kind of make him soft and stuff like that, considering how he's going to end up. You know,
there's not many characters I look at and say that's probably the best version I've seen, but this is probably the best version of Zaz. I never really liked him in the comic books, so it was a bit lame with the whole like he crosses it off gimmick, and that's all he really had. At least this one's got a personality.
Yeah. The other big part of the episode is obviously Jim has gone down to Cuba to go and get the Don's blessing, and he runs into Sofia.
Poor Bruce.
His daughter.
Or Jim. Poor Jim. At first I was like, is this the same daughter? I forget with the names and whatnot. Is this the same daughter as like in the Long Halloween?
Yeah.
Okay.
There were some bits. See, it's annoying because I like her off the bat. I'm not going to say why.
I'll say why. She's hot as hell.
She has a very strong jaw. I mean, she looked good in her horse riding outfit. And then she got into her... I don't know whether there was some of the faces she pulls. She looked kind of sinister, and I'm kind of expecting her to, like, her personality to break all of a sudden. And I mean, she lipsed him on the beach. So I was thinking, oh, this is interesting. Because I was expecting her to kick off about her brother, but she was cool with it. And then in some respect, I was expecting that to be like, oh, maybe she's super crazy on that. But for now, she's kind of calm. And I liked it when they kind of got back to Gotham, and she was wearing... she likes to bear her cleavage. Let's just say. I like the kind of pinstripe outfit she was wearing. And there was like a goofy line that got me gassed, like which was sultry, if I was to describe it in one word, where she's like, hey, you came to Cuba looking for a gangster, and you got one. I'll be in touch.
Yeah, you know, she's got villain written all over, and it was interesting with her look as well. I mean, obviously she's very attractive, but with her look, I was thinking she could have been a Talia al Ghul if they needed one. Obviously, I think I was a bit too old with Bruce being a kid, but I wonder how long she'll last. And I mean, what's her face has got to come back at some point, unfortunately. Who am I thinking of? Leslie Tompkins.
A prettier one comes along and you just forget her name altogether. You're angry at her. You're like, oh yeah, she has to come back and ruin it all.
I could watch her all day long, but personality-wise, good lord, it was annoying last year. So if she does come back, let's hope all that crap's over with. But I wonder how long-term this will last. Is this something that's going to go the entire season? Because you know she's going to go crazy.
Yeah, you got to figure Jim's got to like knock someone up. Because like Barbara, he needs to knock someone up and get Barbara cooking. You know what I mean?
In some versions of the story, he's like her uncle or something, so he doesn't necessarily have to be her dad. But I mean, there's no hurry for that.
Yeah, it's just
Bruce Wayne's still a kid. You don't need a Barbara Gordon anymore. You can do a Dick Grayson at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, if we kind of... that covers that. We kind of get to the whole auction thing with the knife, and then I swear,
there we go.
Yeah,
more for the auction thing, because it wasn't a complaint when I was saying it last week and the week before. It was really just if they're gonna do this long term, and as in this kid's gonna be Batman, this is what they need to do. He needs to start acting like a playboy brat. So I was happy to see this.
Because instantly when Alfred suggested it, I was like, yo. That's exactly what Matthew brought up last episode. It's like every time you bring someone up in an episode, they do it big in the next one. So, by the way this review's gone, the whole episode's just going to be Sofia changing outfits.
Fine by me.
So yeah, he's kind of doing the whole playboy thing. I think he may have overcooked it a little bit. It's kind of,
Yeah.
it's funny. Like when Oswald walks in, it's like Oswald, friend, and then Oswald gets gassed off it. Another funny bit. What I thought was the best bit of the episode when they were bidding and stuff like that, and then Bruce Wayne's. I didn't like the whole shtick, like 100,001, and then all the people kept laughing. It was like whatever. It's
Yeah.
like that wore thin pretty quick. But then when Bruce was like $2 million, and now Penguin just runs in with the gavel and it's sold. that was jokes. I did thought that was real funny.
It was good. He did overcook it a little. What I'm interested, like, I wonder if he overcooked it because Bruce Wayne was overcooking it, or whether this kid playing him was just like so excited to get a chance to do something other than the monotone "my parents are dead, wow wow ha" crap that he overdid it.
Everyone was convinced. So yeah, and that kind of. Yeah, so Barbara's after the dagger for this mysterious client, which, I mean, brings us to the... I mean, he gets a dagger, and then Bruce is expecting Ra's to turn up after it, but then Selina does, and she's like, yo, give me the dagger, yo, or Barbara's going to allow me off. And then Bruce is like, it costs $2 million, and she's like, come on, do me a solid. it's like Bruce is hot for her, but he ain't $2 million hot for her. I mean, he's nearly as tall as Barbara. That's something I noticed when they're auctioning, and they're pretty much the same height. I don't know. I'm surprised if I'd have tried it on with Barbara if I was him at that auction. But yeah, so he kind of sends Selina back in. Selina was kind of wearing the kind of the outfit from what looked to be the Dark Knight Rises. Do you know the Anne Hathaway outfit?
Mm-hmm.
She was wearing a kind of one like that, which I thought was like different, because normally she just kind of wears a leather jacket or whatever. So yeah, he sends her packing, and then word gets back to Barbara, and she's sulking in her room. And then one thing that I thought was annoying, it's like this: we've already established this guy's 2,000 years old. She noticed him creeping up on him, and then she kind of pinned him to the wall, and Yeri got out of it and kind of like cracked her arm. But it's like, come on, man. Like, no one should be able to, like, get whether he was doing it for shtick or whatever, I don't know, but she shouldn't have got the upper hand like that, in my opinion. That kind of bothered me. And
Yeah, especially if it's really not a gender thing. It's the fact of we've seen her kind of get her ass kicked for the last 3 years. That's her role on the show. She's a crazy girl. She gets in a fight, she probably loses it, and that's about it, right? That's her thing. But to now see her nearly beat the crap out of Ra's al Ghul, if he does get out of it, doesn't really set him up as this badass.
Well, he should have just slapped her around, but maybe that's not his thing. Because, I mean, yeah, so it turns out, for some reason, he was minding his own business and stumbled across her body. And then
I need to explain that.
And then decided, oh no, I'm going to bring you back. Maybe he saw her in the newspapers a lot and thought she's well connected to people. Maybe drew the connection between Jim Gordon and Bruce Wayne. So I mean, he finds out the dagger's in Bruce's possession, and is like, yeah, this actually inadvertently this works out perfectly fine. So whether Ra's was going to present the dagger to Bruce himself or whatever, but now Bruce has got it. So yeah, he brought her back for some reason and has been training her for the past few months. And then they lips, and it's like, oh, okay, then is she gonna be like Nissa's mother or something? But I don't know.
I don't know, because he's so old. You know, how many kids has he got already? Also, that's part of the thing, though, that you're saying with her manhandling him, because they threw in the whole he's been training her thing. It kind of stunk of on Arrow, when we're taught with either what's her face, the Black Canary, or even Thea, when we're told like, oh, they've been trained. We see like one episode of it, and then all of a sudden they're badasses. It's just not enough. If he supposedly trained her, let us see a little before she starts beating the crap out of him.
Well, I think really on a kind of subliminal level, I think the way she's acting now, I mean, she's she's calm, the way she speaks, she's not so erratic. So that, in a sense, I mean, yeah, he trains them how to fight and stuff like that, but also, he trains them like mentally as well, because they've got to be prepared for this sort of stuff. So that's maybe why she's walking around all calm. In my opinion, she's more in a position now to get Jim back than kind of ever.
I'm not sure that'll ever happen.
So you got her knocking about, you've got flipping, you've got Sofia knocking about, and you've got Lee knocking about. So I mean, Jim's sitting pretty. You kind of have, to kind of that's how it ended, obviously. But just to harken back, you've got the Riddler walking the streets now, kind of all confused and stuff like that. It's interesting because I kind of know apparently him and Solomon Grundy are gonna end up like hanging out and stuff like that, them two. And it's interesting because he was kind of Solomon Grundy-ish in the sense, he's walking the streets, he's kind of bedraggled and is looking at stuff and is kind of real disorientated and don't know what it's about. He's kind of lost the whole Riddler thing. So yeah, he's kind of cured in a sense. You know what I mean? But obviously he's going to end up becoming the Riddler again. But for the moment, he's kind of cured. So I think that's interesting because when he looks...
A similar thing happened in the comic books. I wonder if his cure is going to make him good, or they're just not going to bother with that.
I don't know, but I mean, for now, he's kind of all over the place. So I'm interested where that's going to kind of go in terms of him, how quickly he's going to bump into Solomon Grundy. Next episode's called The Demon's Head, and I watched the little preview for it, and it's it's focusing on the dagger a lot. So it's going to be a very Ra's al Ghul centric episode. Whether it takes it to a museum to be like, yo, what's this about? So whether we're going to have some more light shed on it and stuff like that, whether we'll get more flashbacks or something like that, who knows? But yeah, let's talk numbers.
I thought it was solid. I'll give it an 8.
8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, another costume change, I would have given it a 9. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And it's looking good so far. We'll see you next week for more Gotham.